So I had 4 interviews. 3 of them were multiple mini interviews. So I had 6 different stations that I had to go around. They challenged different things like my ethics, my ability to communicate with different groups of people, like spatial awareness, different challenging components. And then one of my interviews was a panel interview. So I had 3 examiners opposite me that basically ripped apart my personal statement and asked me lots of challenging questions. I prefer the multiple mini interviews because as soon as you've done one station, like it's behind you and you get a fresh start, so you've got 6 different people judging you instead of 3 people just glaring at you for an hour.
I was very fortunate that my school had a specific person that kind of mentored us through the process, but mainly looking at resources on the internet. There's loads of stuff out there. Do research into your medical school as to what style of interview that was, and preparing obvious questions like why do you want to come to medical school. And then I think I did a mock one at school with just a teacher.
Be yourself. Don't try and fake a personality because people will see right through that. And be honest and do prepare for it. Don't just think I can turn up and just answer and improvise on the spot and I'll be fine, because you do need to prepare, especially in terms of ethical questions. You need to say what is appropriate. And it is just nice to know, have an idea of what kind of questions are going to be asked, so in your head you're prepared and you don't get too nervous.
I think interviews are a really difficult thing to prepare for. There's so many people say you should do this and this, and I had a panel interview where I prepared like all the stuff like why do you want to be a doctor, what do you want to do, all that kind of stuff, and they didn't ask any of it. They just asked for what do we do on this course and where do you go in 4th year and like all this stuff, and I wasn't prepared for that. So I think it's a case of just revise what you think's necessary, because some things will be thrown up that you can't prepare for, but just be confident and be yourself and you'll get through it.
The type of interviews I had just included the 2 main formats at the time, which was the multiple mini interviews and as well as the panel. I felt like they both got the strengths and weaknesses. I quite enjoyed the multiple mini interviews because there were quite a few stations, so if you went wrong, it was quite forgiving, since the next station they wouldn't know what you had just done. But also on the panel you could sort of get to know the people a bit more, and so you can really show off your strengths as well.
So I read up on the various guidance in terms of preparing for medical school interviews, especially GMC outcomes for graduates, and I kind of practiced the multiple mini interview format before I went into interviews, because it can be a bit strange when you're there. So yeah, I'd make sure that you look up guidance and you practice a bit before the interviews.